Listen, September 28th, I will be supporting 100 plus strong black men, and I would love for you to do the
I want to
same.
give a shout out to my friend Freddie, Silent Heroes on IG. He's having a big event in LA, 4720 Slauson, September 28th, 100 Black Men of Excellence. He's building the community through boxing.
I feel like is the biggest weapon. I asked Kenny this. He said that Errol does a lot of things well, so there's not really one thing to point to disarm him. But in your mind, as the fighter, as you step through the ropes, what's the biggest thing that you feel like you need to disarm Errol with to be successful?
Yeah, I don't really look at the size as an advantage for him. But I think I've seen a lot of things outside of the ring lead up to his fight, different things that him and I have been a part of together. And he does not seem to be completely locked in mentally. And I think right now that may be the best shot. We're looking at breaking. And I think that attacking his psychological and his mental during the fight in the ring, I think that'll make the rest come together and it'll break them down as well.
Now,
don't forget September 28th is going up, is going down. Don't forget, show up and show out. Great time. So you guys just you guys just heard Shawn Porter say that how the weaknesses basically in Errol Spence is he's not mentally locked in for this fight, and he's going to exploit his mental and psychological in the fight. And those are tough words, man. Those are tough words to say that another fighter is not locked in. And just my humble opinion, it's just funny, man. It's just, to say that a fighter isn't locked in, I think those are tough words. I honestly would have kept those words to myself, even if I believed it. I'm telling you guys got to read 48 Laws of Power, man. I'm telling you guys how to defeat your enemy. I wouldn't give 7 days in, I wouldn't give them new ammunition. Not unless it's true. That's subjective. Is he locked in? No. It's something we'll never ever know, but just to play devil's advocate really, really quick, they're common opponents. And since Barry Hunter's in the corner, they have another common opponent, that being Lamont Peterson. He broke Lamont Peterson's will, that being Errol Spence, and he broke Kell Brook's will, So you got to take into account the wills that Errol Spence has broken. He had Team Garcia arguing in the corner whether to stop the fight. No, let him go. Big G wanted them to stop the fight. Mikey said, no, I can finish the fight. Mikey was in survival mode the whole entire fight. So at the end of the day, for real, I would say it's 3-1 and wills broken. No, let's say 3-2. Berto Malignaggi versus on the other side. Let's see. I'm sorry, it's late as hell. It's 1:00 in the morning, and Berto Malignaggi on Shawn Porter's side. I would say Shawn Porter broke those two guys' wills. Those two, right? On the other side, I would say Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, and Mikey Garcia. And you can say Leonard Von Du, but we're just going to stay on that level, right? We're just going to stay what's perceivably the A level. I know Paulo Malignaggi and Andre Berto is no longer on the A level as we think it today, as we see it today. So, but if you're just looking at A level versus B level, somewhere in there, Errol Spence has the advantage in terms of breaking people's will that are better fighters, right? We won't know, but I'll say this. It's similar to when the Garcia said, "Oh, we're gonna outthink him." Errol Spence went out boxing for 12 rounds. Think about this really carefully, guys. Earl was going to internalize this. Earl was going to internalize everything that he says. I remember in the press conference, Earl told two reporters, "Oh, you picked against me." That's it. Earl was watching everything. All they doing is sitting in their room, conserving energy, probably playing NBA 2K, Madden, watching YouTube videos, and I mean they're in auto save mode. You know how your phone gets under 10%? These fighters are gonna be in auto save mode. So what they're gonna do is do what they, you know what I mean, do their promotional tours and do what they need to do going into the fight. But be very careful. Like, to say that, a fighter isn't smart enough, um, a fighter don't have the capacity to mentally lock in, you taking something for granted. I've never seen that in Earl. Actually, I've said this before, and I say this from a real perspective. I I never know, like, in terms of interviewing Earl Spence, he's pretty stoic, so I never know the type of energy, and so I kind of gotta gauge his energy as I interview him, so I know how to phrase the question. Uh, Man, those are tough words, man. To say he's not meant. I mean, to say that uh, his jab hasn't been as good as it been, that's different. But to attack a man's mindset 9 days before the fight, now all he has to do is lock in and lose 10 pounds. Same thing with Shawn Porter. Probably just got to lose 10 pounds. Um, whew, it's tough. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I mean? And this is going to be a high energy. It's going to be a track meet type of fight on in portions of the fight. I'll get into it. I'm gonna drop a video after this. I was just inspired to drop a video just thinking about this fight. But I mean, let's go through this, man. Let's go through this in not chronological order, but let's go in order. Let's say, and I'm not saying Earl hasn't said anything neither. But I'm just saying, I'm just going to go through the things that Team Porter has said. They started off this press tour by calling him jealous. He wanted my job. He hates to see my smile. He hates to be in my presence. He doesn't like, I forget the term he used, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Um, uh, Kenny Porter says, what did he say? Earl needs to pick on people his own size. They bullied him. He's not as intelligent as Shawn Porter on the mic. He challenged his intellect. Now he's challenging his will. Um, whew, man. I mean, maybe this is part of their plan to try and get him off his game. But I've never seen Errol Spence off his game in a fight. I've seen him be a slow starter in the Kell Brook fight. I see him take 3 rounds to get comfortable. That's honestly the most I've seen him. I've seen him like be conservative. Whew, this is tough. This is tough. I'm just thinking about. I remember. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I remember I was in grad school and I was getting my credential, and I had a roommate at the time, and Alan Hidalgo is his name. We taught at the same school, and he said something to me. He says, I had took the CSAT 5 times and failed it 5 times. And the CSAT is to get your credential so you can be a school teacher. I failed it 5 times in a row, you know. And he said it to me. He says, "Man, you can't even fucking pass the CSAT." I made cue cards. I made everything, and I passed the CSAT on my 6th attempt. You know what I mean? Because I knew that comment was laced with so many other other uh, other 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 undertones, and I know many of you have had people say something in your life, and you're like, hold up, you really mean more than that, you know. Um, if you want to be 100, if you go back to Shawn Porter's last camp, he wasn't mentally locked in because he made weight with 1 second to spare. Actually, now he probably they slowed the countdown for him to make weight. It was actually over. Then he got back on and sucked all the air out of his body, and he made weight. Not just speaking the truth. If you compare last camp versus last camp, Errol Spence internalized what Mikey Garcia and Champside did a video. Go watch about the black quarterback being unintelligent, and he compared that to Errol Spence, which I thought that was a great simile or a great parallel. He likened it to that. I thought it was awesome. A simile is using like or as, right? Yeah, like or as. So, uh, um, whereas Earl, Earl, Earl Spence, no, excuse me, Shawn Porter missed weight, pound and a half, right? He had to go to 24-hour fitness and run it off. Had to cut his hair, unfocused, everyone's scared. No one can believe it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I was actually concerned at the time, and I wouldn't want to see, honestly, I wouldn't want to see a fighter lose a belt, lose the belt on the scale, but it comes from a lack of preparation. Lack of preparation shows in many different ways. You know, um, we'll know fight night. All this is subjective until fight night. And my analytics say that you guys want me to talk about this fight as much as possible. So guess what I'm going to do? Talk about this fight as much as possible. My pro Earl Spence videos does greater views than many of my other videos that I'm doing now. So that's what y'all gonna get for the next 8 days. You know, um, it is what it is, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Um, the build up. I'm just waiting on the the, uh, the men to take their coats off and sit down and relax and get comfortable. But you attack his intelligence a month ago, 3 weeks ago, and then you say he can't focus on a fight, basically. Whoosh. So, and to say you're going to attack someone mentally is a good idea. You know, um, I've said this story before on YouTube. I've been in adult leagues since I was 22. I'm 41. So this is my 19th year in playing in the basketball adult leagues. And I've always been honest with myself internally, not outwardly, not telling people I'm not as good as I used to be, right? And I can recall me like in my mid 30s, my early 30s, around about 33, 34, I can feel myself sliding, right? And um, and everybody gets younger and younger as you get older and older. It just feels that way. You understand what I'm saying? And um, I would always keep my opponents docile. The young guys always come in the gym with their newest Nikes, uh, beautiful women uh, with their kids. So I always try and keep them calm and docile. I don't want them competing at me at 100%. I would ask them about, man, those some dope ass Jordans. Man, those are some rare. Damn, how much those cost? Man, choose you got. What I mean? How's your mom doing? I see your beautiful kids over there, man. How's your wife doing? Everybody good? Make them feel good, make them comfortable. Give them as they say in the interrogation room, give them a cigarette, give them some Popeye's chicken, give them a Popeye's chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, and this is why people like me stay successful. This is why people like me keep on winning. I don't take L's. You know, you got to know how to compete. You you know, You guys been with me for a couple years by now. I don't take too many L's. The L's I the L's I take, I mean, definitely don't outweigh my victories. So uh, we'll see. We gonna see. The Earl Spence I know is internalizing this, and but some things in my head, some things you just got to keep to yourself, especially when you already have the answers to the test. You know how he internalizes things. If I'm competing against Earl and he's been the boogeyman, I'm gonna keep him in the freezer. I'm gonna keep him cold. I'm not gonna warm him up. I'm gonna keep him cold. I'm not gonna say too much. It's fight week now. He Earl was gonna forget half the stuff at the beginning of the camp. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's not as pertinent as it is today. You understand what I'm saying? It's not as important, you know. Um, Man, I remember Earl said this in the cafe in the meeting area back behind the scenes. He says, "I'm gonna hit Shawn so hard that Kenny feels it." I'll do a video on that so he can have his own title. He just rehashed that energy. He had to. Saying the man is not focused. He's not taking me serious. I don't know. Maybe Shawn felt insulted or slighted by that. Keep that shit to yourself. Like, how, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Keep it to yourself. It's like Adrian Broner when he talked about the girl with Paulie Malignaggi. I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have excited Paulie Malignaggi. That would end up being a closer fight. It was great for YouTube media. It was great for like social media blogs and all that, but I don't allow a man to lock in like that. I don't. I wouldn't do it. The ego of a man, would I want to say it? Yeah. But no, I wouldn't say it. You know? It's like I used it I used the example. I'll talk about I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that in another video as we get close to the fight. But Earl is locked in now. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you from he's only competed. I spent a couple hours with him in the gym, and uh, he's locked in. In just my humble opinion, he's locked in. And the reason why I know he's locked in, I've seen him physically change in 3 weeks. Earl didn't need 8 weeks for this fight. He changed. He was ready 3 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure so was Shawn. You know, I'm not saying one without the other. I'm just telling the truth. Like, it took him 3 weeks to get ready for this fight. 3 weeks. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw uh, how he changed from the press conference to the beginning of camp. Y'all saw it. Insane. Right? You saw what he looked like yesterday. He's ready to go. He just got to lose a few more pounds, and it's going to be showtime. It's going to be man down. It's going to be showtime. It's going to be man down. But anyways, man, y'all, oh man, I would have kept that to myself. I mean, because your dad already said he's not as smart as you. Like, how much, in my humble opinion, as a competitor, that goes below the belt. I would keep them comments to myself, and maybe at fight night, if you win, I would say I knew he would. I knew if I attack his mental fortitude is not as tough as mine. You understand what I'm saying? Anyways, I done said enough. Barbershop conversations, man. You guys have a great night. Earl Spence fans, Shawn Porter fans, Andre Durrell fans, Barrios, John Molina, Josecito Lopez. Make sure y'all there next Saturday. It's gonna be a great day, and we're gonna have a great time. So barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next Saturday at 10 a.m. And I'm gone. Peace.